this is what we've been looking for. This is amazing. If we can take this home from our trip, it's been paid for time and time again, because we saw the way we can bring it into our school, know what the kids are doing. And our funding process is such that we have psychologists and speeches come into the school, do assessments, but then we don't have the follow through. So this enabled us to actually see what we're getting with the kids, put things into place, and as I think Simone's probably mentioned as well already, really get to know those kids and plan for them, cater for them, what grades they might go into.
We used the DA initially to get a picture of the children, and then followed up with the TA once the children had begun school. The TA information was extremely valuable to create targeted groups where we could focus on individual student needs. This was followed up in small groups, but also in individual workshops, one-on-one with each child. This helped inform parents of where their children were at and the goals that we'd set for the rest of the year. In some cases, we followed it up again in September with another teacher assessment to see the progress that the children had made throughout their first year of school.
So we now have the parents sitting on our direct assessment. It gives us a chance to welcome them personally to the school, meet with them and their children. We ask for a lot of background information first so we can find out about home languages and encourage them to continue the use of home languages. And we also explain that if the child's preferred language is not English, that we'll give them some extra wait time so they've got time to process in English. And that sort of puts the parents at ease. And then once we've done the assessment, we can talk about specific elements with the parents and what they can do to support their children with the learning, and how the school will use that information to plan a program to meet the needs of their child and follow up on that. We're using what their child already knows to help grow them.
It's a great talking point with parents as well. We can start with the DA and show the progress that they've made in a short term, and also where we still need to work on and what future goals the children will have.
So we do our assessment through developmental play. Between our two rooms, the children can actually go into each room, so we have a number of different areas set up. The children are then interacting with different members from other classes, and then we can assess fine motor, their interaction skills, their independence.
We base our centres around many different skills, so if we can include a fine motor activity, a maths activity, all in the one centre, it ticks a lot of boxes.
Having this valuable information available has really made a difference to our teaching and also our planning as well. So where we're at with the iData is my team's just finished collating all the data through learning centres, and we've also entered it. We've recently had our planning day, and we've used that data to identify areas of need still. So from the data, we've seen that a lot of children are still in the yellow zone for their language. So we've used that information to be able to plan our developmental centres to be able to build their language up.
This is our third year of administrating the TA. We found that it was easiest to incorporate into our everyday activities. Some of the activities include
so initially at the start of the day in prep we do developmental play. So while we have different little centres set up for our developmental play, we're able to use our tick sheet, and just as they're doing what they do, we were able to tick things off as they were actually playing. We also, in prep, you need to move from one activity to the next. So we found by doing some of the things on the eye, quick, short, sharp, little things like, you know, the one that they're standing on the leg, you had to see which kids could stand on the leg. So that was just a transitional activity we did between one activity to the next.
Or playing games such as head, shoulders, knees and toes, and Simon Says. It was quite useful to see who knows their body parts. I also found that PMP, being already incorporated into our program, made it easy to find out if they could throw a ball, catch, and if they could kick and things like that.
Yeah, so it was actually spread throughout the day as we were going along, wasn't it? That's how we found it easiest to implement.
The follow-up teacher assessment allowed the prep teachers to provide the grade 1 teachers with an up-to-date information report of where the children were at and what had been effective in the students' first year of school. This also helped reassure parents and that the things we'd implemented in prep had been working and prepared their child for their next year of school.
It gives you that discussion point from the start, very start, saying, you know, this is what we've done and this is what we've noticed. So it definitely gives a good talking point with the parents and you know, gives the parents an idea of, you know, what we do at school and what we're looking for as well.
Definitely. It's made me more aware of my classroom and looking at the students, and also like what activities I plan. And in terms of knowing my kids before they come into class for prep, it's been so helpful because I've been able to get a better understanding and create a supportive environment before they even come to school. So it's definitely helped with that transition.
We oversee the placement of the makeup of classes. We've been able to get that up and running months before. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing. We're 6 weeks ahead of knowing the kids instead of being, oh, that first 6 weeks is getting to know the kids. I think that's probably the single best thing. We've also put into place where we can say to our speech therapist or our psychologist, we've identified this need, can you actually come in and work with us, instead of just spending their whole time doing assessments.